I know for my people I've worked with who've experienced burnout, sometimes burnout lasts for years. So your decision that you made for a couple months ends up impacting your life for years because you're tired all the time and you start to avoid the thing that you loved, which is learning languages. And we don't want that. So I hope that that part is helpful. I hate this so much because I feel like I'm not doing enough. Absolutely. It's very easy, at least for me. I won't say for everyone, but for many of us, and it sounds like you as well, for it can be really easy for us to feel like we're not doing enough, especially when we're comparing ourselves to other people or comparing ourselves to this ideal version of ourselves. When really we just have to say, okay, what are our expectations? Lay them out really clearly. What can I do? So one of the other things that I recommend to help build confidence is thinking about your expectations. Well, this helps with confidence and a little bit with motivation. So layer you think about your I think about my expectations in three different levels. So I think good, better, best, or good, better, great. So level good is like low expectations. It's like on a bad day, when I'm tired, work was crazy, and I'm like, I just need a nap and food and, to like retire. It's like, what is the simplest thing that I can do? The easiest thing that I can do that I know is going to help me make progress. Like, I know if I do this one thing, is it going to make tons of progress? No. But I know that I'm either maintaining my level in the language I'm learning or I'm making 1% of progress because either the maintaining or 1% is better than zero. We don't want to go backwards. We don't want to lose all the progress that we're making. And then, so you have your good, and then level better is a little bit more than that. It might be doing more based on the time, it might be more based on frequency, it might be a different task that you add on that's not required, but is a good addition. And then best is like on a great day when you have all the time and energy in the world, what does your ideal study routine look like? That is not your everyday expectation, but that's a when you can. Yeah, exactly. 1% is better than no percent. Yep, absolutely. And that is coming from this perfectionist who was like, I need to do all the things all the time and be amazing every day. It's like, no, it's not gonna happen. It's not realistically. And so rather than trying to make our lives fit around our language learning, because when we do that, we end up putting it off and saying, well, I can't study today and I can't do it today, maybe tomorrow, and tomorrow becomes 2 months from now or 2 years from now. Instead of that, we make our language learning work around our life. It needs to align with what we're dealing with right now and what we can handle so that we can actually do it. Because if you can't do the studying on the days when you're extra exhausted, then chances are you're not going to maintain it. We're exhausted a lot. There's a lot of things, especially nowadays, there's a lot of things that we're handling that can be really tricky. Also, it's not realistic because exactly, we are human and things happen. Things happen. And so what can we put in place? What system can we put in place for our language studies to help us stick with it? And it's not about pushing yourself. It's not about saying, "Oh, I'm tired, so I have to do 30 minutes of studying." It's saying, "Oh, I'm tired, so I'm going to do 5 flashcards today because those 5 flashcards are better than 0." Or I'm going to listen to this podcast while I'm like doing the dishes I have to do anyway, and that's my bare minimum. Or I'm going to text my friend twice in the language I'm learning, and that's my conversation practice, bare minimum. And you've studied today. Or what I like to do is I'm like, hey, on a bad day, I'm gonna play a video game and I'm gonna change the language into one of the languages that I'm learning. And I've studied today. And I also got some self-care in with my video games. That's what I like to do. But that's a whole other conversation. But you said you think that that's why you stopped doing so much lately. Yeah, absolutely. You've probably been either near or experienced like right in burnout because you've been either pushing yourself really hard or feeling like you had to. So take this as your permission to know you don't have to push yourself above and beyond, especially not every day. What the I guess comparison I like to say when it comes to being consistent and doing what we do as language learners is I like to compare it to watering a plant. There are some plants that need water every single day. There are some plants that need it like a couple times a week. And then there's some plants that you can water like once a month. But no matter how often we're doing that watering routine, it's still considered consistent. And so you are the plant. You have to take care of yourself. How often do you need to replenish that energy in water? And then how often do you need to actually, review or study or practice your bare minimum to get 1%? So 2 hours of language studies, 2 hours of piano, 1 hour of music, trying to do influencing. Yeah. So I would say if you're looking at like your schedule right now of all those different pieces and you're like, I have this and this and this piece, and you're like, that makes me overwhelmed just thinking about it. Then I mean I can't support with all the other areas, but at least when it comes to learning languages, I can give you permission to say you can do less. It is okay. It is okay to do less, and you can build up to where you want to be or not. You can just decide 10 minutes a day is what you're going to do because it's not a race. Despite what the internet tries to tell us about learn a language in 30 days, master the language in 2 days, in 2 weeks. This is a lifelong journey. And I think a lot of people get caught up in learning the language that we forget that the other half of the journey is maintaining it and using it. And so we're always going to be practicing and studying. I think about my experience with Japanese, for example, where I studied for 3 formal years in college and then for about 5 years in like self study. And the skills that I had with my writing, where I was writing essays in class and we were having full on discussions in class, I don't have that same skill anymore because I haven't maintained it. But I can still talk about things and write about my ideas and discuss things in Japanese. But part of the journey is maintaining the skills that you want to have and you want to use, and you have an idea of how you plan to use it. Yeah, very few people talk about that maintaining part. So 20 minutes from now on, absolutely. And just know that even with that 20 minutes, if you've tested that out and you feel like it's still too much, you can cut it back more. Hello, goal is to be a polyglot. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm doing a super late night stream, so I'm glad that you stopped by. And if you're not able to stay for the entire time, don't worry because this entire live, I'm also on YouTube right now and like monitoring it. This is going to be cut up and then repurposed on YouTube so you can watch these videos for later and get all of this juicy information. But I'm so glad that you're enjoying this and you love what the content that I create. They're fluent in ASL and intermediate Spanish, just started doing Polish and Korean. I love it. I love it. Absolutely love it. So we're talking about motivation and confidence. We kind of talked through confidence a little bit, and now I want to jump into motivation. So I have some notes. If you see me looking off screen, I'm either looking at the YouTube camera or looking at my notes for motivation. So when it comes to motivation, one of the things that I say a lot, because I feel like it's really important, is I think as language learners, as a community, we rely way too much on motivation. So many people, myself included, I used to say this all the time, say things like, I can't study today because I'm not motivated. I'm not able to like do the practice or the review. I'm not really motivated to do it right now. I'll do it later. I'll do it tomorrow. I need someone with me so that I can be more motivated to do the work, to study, to practice. If this sounds familiar to you at all, because again, this was me, we need to reframe how we think about motivation. One, it's fleeting. It's not going to stay there with you 100% all the time. There are going to be days where you're more motivated than others. But when that becomes the core focus of your or the foundation of your language learning routine, your journey, as we've said, when you're not motivated, you don't study. And if you're not studying, you're not making progress. And then like that's an easy fix. We can fix that. We can change that. So instead of relying on motivation, we have to build that sustainable consistency. We have to build that discipline. And then motivation is the bonus. So motivation is the thing that when you have it, you might going back to the good, better, best expectations. When you're motivated, that might be your best day. That might be the ideal language learning day. You get all the things done. You get all these extra activities and you're making tons of progress that day. That's your motivation day. But on the days you're not motivated, that's when you're going to your lower level, your bare minimum expectation of good. Like, this is good enough. So when you're not motivated, this is what you can get done, whether you're motivated or not. And so One of the things that I've noticed in my own language studies and in my students and clients is that when we're not motivated, we often do a couple different things. We routine wander, which is like you're studying, but you're not consistently studying one thing. Like you're using this textbook and you're like, oh, I'm done with that textbook. Okay, I'm going to go to this YouTube channel and follow it. Okay, now I'm going to hire a teacher for a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to listen to podcasts. And now I'm going to get this list of vocab from this website. And okay, now I'm going to do some writing. You're just all over the place. There's no organization to what you're doing, there's no structure to what you're doing. And so you're routine wandering, you're wandering all over the place. What's going to happen is that when you're routine wandering, you end up not making consistent progress because you're kind of dipping into all these different pots or all these different skill areas. Like it will eventually get you there, but the path is going to be so much harder for you than if you focus on a few different areas at a time and really had a clear plan on how this is going to help you make progress.